Hello everybody and welcome to another Heroes of the Storm guide with FoxxDennGaming. So today I'm deciding to talk about my favorite hero, the one that I started playing when I first started playing Heroes of the Storm, and potentially one of the better starter heroes that you should pick, because last week we did a quick little tips and trips guide for how to actually get into Heroes of the Storm. But now I'm actually going to be talking about my favorite character, Gazlowe. Now, Gazlowe is a goblin hailing from Ratchet or Booty Bay, one of the two, and he's essentially the Goblin Tinker from the Warcraft 3 games, but he plays a lot differently, and his character is built around not being, the RTS character, but rather a new character entirely, where he doesn't even have any of his old, abilities from back in the day. So, we're going to be talking about how he works. So, first things first, all of Gazlowe's abilities are designed around zoning the ever-living shit out of the other players. He is really good at just keeping people off the lane, because he is able to just shoot out his little TNT rockets. He also has the ability to shoot out various turrets that basically allow him to zone out the other characters, so that you have constant damage on you have constant damage on the lane at all times. The cannons work very well for fodder, the turrets work very well for fodder, and also he has Death Laser, which is it's like a sniper bullet kind of, whereas you can sit down and charge up this laser, and it's a skill shot that basically it turns into a giant wide arrow of damage, and you can sit back and charge it, and then the longer you charge it for, the more damage it does. However, it only charges up damage for 3 seconds, so sitting back and charging forever waiting for somebody to come by isn't exactly the best idea. However, Death Laser can be charged indefinitely, so if you're waiting for the guys to all get into one group, if there's a team fight going on, definitely charge it up for as long as you can, and then, wait and nail them with the laser. And then, of course, you get his heroics, which are Robo Goblin, which are, gain 30 armor and 30% movement speed, which allows you to chase down enemies. Also, your basic attacks deal another 100% bonus damage, which plays in the Gazlowe's whole playstyle of pushing lanes and doing lots of siege and area denial. Whereas his other heroic is the Gravel Bomb, which is after a 2-second delay, pull enemies toward the center of an area and deal 251 damage plus 4% per every level of damage, which is really good for setting up things. However, if you're not playing with anybody, which I assume that if you are, if you're just getting the Heroes of the Storm, you probably don't have a whole team set up right away, I would say Robo Goblin is definitely the better of the two. Now, one of the things that you should note and just keep in mind is that with Gazlowe, you should be in the lane all the time. There is no reason why you shouldn't be in the lane, because you can push people out so hard it's not even funny. And there's certain there are very specific talents that if you pick these, it will make pushing the lanes way better. Extra TNT is really good for doing that, because you can shoot the extra TNT or the TNT bomb into a lane of enemies. So then you have the 7 enemies that are in there already. Then it'll do extra damage, 10% per enemy that's actually in the little zone. But if you actually nail a hero with that, that does a ton of damage. It also stuns them, so it basically opens them up to get really heavily pushed and potentially zoned out. You can also pick Scrap-O-Matic Smelter, which increases the mana restored from scrap by 100%, or Break It Down, which causes scrap to cool down faster, basically. Goblin Repairs is okay, but it's a quest one, and I don't really like that. But it's probably worth it if you actually like put time into getting it. However, the extra TNT is definitely the best one out of everything. Like, sure, the Scrap-O-Matic Smelter might be good too if you're using spells a lot, but I mean, it's really a pick of, do you want more damage on your extra TNT, or not your extra TNT, on your Explodium Charge, or do you want more spells being cast per, second? And that also includes, like, you get more mana for turrets, you get more mana for the laser, you get more mana for popping Robo Goblins so you can chase down enemies, which actually doesn't even have a mana cost, so it's really a case of, do you want to spend money to get stuff, or to spend money to not spend money, spend a talent to get your what's it called, your spells up faster. Now, for a second, or actually, here's, you can skip whichever four, pick whichever one you want, which would be better. Arc Realtor is really good for if you want to be casting more TNT a lot more. It allows you to zone out enemies again, really easy. Also, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle is really applicable for everything because it allows enemies to drop scrap more often, which are really, it's a really good system to kind of have up, so that way, like, you can grab more. You can get your mana back faster. Hired Goons also allows Gazlowe to do way more damage with his mercenaries. Also, turrets gain 50% armor against minions and mercenaries, reducing damage by 50%. This allows you to basically have a turret that can tank mercenaries while you fight, and that's really good. But number 7's where, like, things really get important. So, do you want to be a turret, or do you want to be a turret runner, or do you want to have the laser? Now, the laser is really good if you're gonna be, if you're really good with it and good at sniping people. However, I pick Rocket Turret XL most of the time because it allows you to attack more enemies and allows you to push harder. Or I pick Engine Gunk if I'm gonna be, if I know I'm gonna be moving around a lot and, having fights go on, because then I can place turrets down in bushes, which allows them to slow down enemies, and it causes minor headache for people. Robo Goblin or Gravel Bomb, I already talked about that. Now, the laser, I would say that if you want to go with anything, either go for the Dimensional Ripper, which is like one of my first picks because it allows you to slow heroes in team fights and allows you to basically go for picks. Or the extra large TNT bombs, because it increases exploding charge radius by 30%, being stunned causes, or being stunned and rooted causes an exploding charge to drop at Gazlowe's feet, which allows you to basically, if you do get into a team fight and somebody does stun you, it allows you to have like that little, backup, but it's not that big of a deal. Goblin Fusion isn't good for doing, I would say, isn't a good pick for this because the extra second is okay, I guess, or the extra 100% damage is okay, but it's just the fact that you have to wait an extra second to charge that. Turret storage increases maximum charges from 2 to 3 if you're using turrets all the time. Definitely get that one, it makes sense. Super schematics have 25% increased range. Another really good one, I would actually use that more because I use that one way more anyway because it allows me to basically push farther. Quick release, exploding charge gains a second charge. So it really comes down to what are you using more of? Are you using turrets or are you using the exploding charge? Personally, if I'm using the exploding charge at all, really, to, you know, zone enemies and push harder, I'm gonna go for quick release. Mecha Lord base attacks deal an additional 100% damage, which is really good, and also gain 25% armor. This is the ability that you get for pushing people's shit in. Firing the laser is another good one if you already have say grav bomb or whatever. Firing death laser causes all of Gazlowe's rocket turrets to die in a fire of death laser of their own, or no, whoops, sorry, I read that wrong. To fire a death laser of their own that deals 137% damage, plus 4% per level. And that's good because it basically allows you to, it's basically a second ultimate at that point. Once you get all your turrets set up and you just pop it off against somebody, that fucking hurts. And it's good if you're able to pull off some stuff. It's especially good if you have the black hole one because it allows you to stun people and lock them all in. Its raining scrap is another good one where it activates you activate that to create 5 scrap. It's basically a mana regen. And it's okay if you're, if you're using a lot of spells. Personally, Mecha Lord or lasers is good. And yeah, so now going into just character traits and things that you should worry about. First off, understand that specific characters counter Gazlowe really fucking hard. Gazlowe has really short range and makes him really bad against anything that can essentially outrange him in any way. So a great example is Greymane. Greymane kicks the shit out of Gazlowe. It's not even funny because he has a form that allows him to basically throw things at really far range. And once he sees Gazlowe, the second he sees him, picks up that ability that allows him to throw his potion faster or farther and basically hit him from a long distance. That will ruin your day as a Gazlowe, and you're gonna have to switch lanes with somebody or something. But yeah, Gul'dan, another ranged assassin that's good at picking them off. Nova, really good at ambushing and can make your day really not fun. Nazebo is really good at throwing out those little frogs that, outrange as well, and also gains power when killing enemy minions. And I think that applies to the turret, not 100% sure. But he's also really good at being kited, so it's best just to kind of stick behind somebody that is really good at pushing and taking on other people on their own. Diablo, fucking amazing character to pair up with because he is a big bulky tank that can chase people down, slam them down, lock them in an area. If you throw out your little dynamite bomb and stun them, makes their day just not fun. He's also really good at working with Kael'thas, which is really good. And when they both work really good at pushing. Jaina, another good character that is really good at pushing really hard. Elite Tauren Chieftain, really good at getting around and just bodying people, pushing people into turret range, stuff like that. He can stun enemies with his ultimate, which I'm going to look into that real quick. He can stun enemies with the Mosh Pit ability, which stuns them for 4 seconds. This allows you to pop in a bunch of your spells, pop turrets around ETC while he's doing that, and you can just... if you have 3 turrets and you have the slow, you can actually slow like half the team in that fight, and it's really funny to just pull off. It's also really annoying, and keep in mind that as Gazlowe, you are a main target. You are not strong. You cannot take a hit. You are a squishy. You're a squishy that has high damage and has the ability to zone people out, but you're still a squishy, and you need to realize that. That being said, if you're really good at, placing yourself in proper areas, making sure that you can push hard and take out the turrets and stuff for people, it basically means that you can out-siege any other character in the game. Besides, like, unless you're getting paired with like a Murky or something, but normally you don't get paired with Murkies as Gazlowe, so that's really nice. But yeah, so just keep in mind that as a Gazlowe, it's your job to push, it's your job to zone out enemies and just annoy the fuck out of people, because that's what you do. And also, don't allow yourself, especially after you get Goblin, Robo-Goblin, do not get ballsy, because it's not worth it. Once you start getting ballsy, it becomes an issue of, well, I'm gonna push in as hard as I can. And yeah, and you can see in the gameplay behind me that I do make a lot of mistakes with Gazlowe, where I'm like, I'm gonna push in against people and see if I can kill them. And it's like, no, don't tower dive, you're squishy. You need to realize that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I got it out a little late. You know, things happened. I had to paint, you know, the room for my nieces, and then I had to do some other things. It was kind of a messy weekend, and it won't happen again. I couldn't record them last night, because last night being Sunday night, so literally the night that before this gets uploaded, I had to fix up, like, we had to fix up the bunk bed, and that involved my dad using a compressor, which in turn made it really ruined the audio quality. So I decided to just put it off till today, you know, make better quality content. But yeah, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.